Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared and I'm back. Hey guys, man, I am super, super excited to do this. Boom, 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 right? All right, I'm super excited to do this today. We've got a great show. All right, you're in for a treat. Put some whipped cream on it. I know we just had Thanksgiving. You must have some whipped cream in the refrigerator still from all that pumpkin pie, right? Well, today is a treat. All right. So I've got a great kidney warrior who's going to be joining us tonight. But before I do that, all right, if you're new to the show, please take a moment and subscribe. All right. Click on the subscribe button so that we can continue to put out great content for other people. Also helps broaden our reach for the people whom we're spotlighting so that we can reach more people and get the word out for these kidney warriors. So tonight, all right, what am I doing? All right, you know how I do. I'm your host of the Warriors Quest Show. I'm Jared A. Brown. And each week I spotlight a chronic disease warrior. All right, somebody who's looking for a living kidney donor or a living donor in general. And tonight we've got that opportunity. I'm spotlighting a kidney warrior. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two kidney warriors, all right, who just got the call. Let me see if I can get in the middle here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me give you this one. There we go. All right, I clicked on the right one this time. All right, two kidney warriors who just got the call. So we just got Shane Blanchard from Iowa, and we've got Courtney Smith Hurdle. All right, these kidney warriors just got the call, and they've just had successful kidney transplant surgery. And so, man, we've got to celebrate this. When one of our own gets a transplant, it's good. But two of them right now, virtually a day apart or so, have gotten kidney transplants. So it's very, very, very important that please reach out to them, or even in the comment section here, as long as you tag them, let's celebrate this. And please wish them a recovery and wish the donor's family the best as well, because they obviously are going through some mourning and grieving for each of them. Now, Shane Blanchard had his cousin do the paired exchange program like less than 2 weeks ago. I'm maybe a little off, but I think it's at least less than 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, which he was able to get a voucher and it expedited his chances. And then Courtney Smith Hurdle as well. It's a deceased donor angel. So please reach out to them, tag them or comment that, use their name in the comment section here, and let's make sure that they know that we're praying for them for a good recovery. Hey, thanks for watching, Jonathan Trailer. Hello. Thanks for watching and supporting us, Jonathan. All right. So I'm going to bring on a co-host. I've got two co-hosts tonight because we're going to be talking about, all right, Jennifer Cervantes from Arizona is going to be our special guest. And what's happened is she lives in the Tucson, Arizona area. She had a kidney transplant in 2018, and now 3 years later, she finds herself back on dialysis. All right, and so she finds herself back in the search and trying to get a kidney again and finding a living kidney donor. So in this process, all right, so she's had just a small hiccup and a small concern about post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorder, PTLD. Hopefully I said that right. So when I made this pick on the, your right or my left, I put a kidney warrior. I put a warrior on the side, a little avatar, because I just feel as though everybody in the community, they are warriors and they battle every day. I'm going to shorten the screen a little bit because I'm going to be showing the. Well, I'm going to put in the chat on the screen, but before I do that, I want to read this. So bear with me while I read this because before I bring my co-host on, I want to read this. So, okay, what is post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorder, PTLD? We're going to discuss that. I'm going to bring but I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. I'm going to bring on our co-host now, and then we're going to discuss this a little bit more and what Jennifer's journey has been. And then I'll bring on our very special guest, Jennifer Cervantes from Tucson, Arizona. All right. So I'm going to do a co-host intro, but I'm going to do one instead of two, and I'm going to bring them at the same time. All right. I've got the wonderful, all right, Green Princess Warrior, Tamika Griffin. She's going to be co-hosting with us tonight. And then I have, of course, Steve Belcher, my friend from Urban Health Outreach Media, and of course the nonprofit Urban Kidney Alliance. So I'm bringing him on because he has so much experience in this, and he can talk a little bit more with medical terms than what I can do just by Google searching. So I'm bringing him on, bringing the Green Warrior Princess on, and we're going to do a very special co-host intro. Here we go. Co-hosts!
for these conditions that are currently in the investigational stages of development. Alright, as a quick recap, post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorders, or PTLDs, are uncontrolled growths of lymphocytes that occur after someone has received a solid organ or stem cell transplant that requires immunosuppressive medications to prevent transplant rejection. They can originate in either type of lymphocyte, B cells or T cells. Diagnosis involves blood tests, a biopsy, and imaging, while treatment may include surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation.
All right, I'll just stop it right there because it's really giving us what I wanted to do. I wanted a little bit more of an explanation. I wanted to kind of give an illustration of really what happens. But Shane, let's, if you would, Steve, what would
you did
can
most
you
of my
kind of-
work.
Okay, so basically, from what I just Google searched it. From what I understand, it happens only in a small percentage of transplant patients, and it's generally early on. It can happen later, but it's generally early on. But in this video that we just watched, it could go unnoticed because of what we just learned, though.
Oh, absolutely, Jared. And in fact, as you mentioned, it happens early on. Few people get PTLD after a transplant. It's more common in children and the elderly. The greatest chance of getting it, if you're going to get this, is during the first few months after your transplant, when the doses of medication are the highest and your immune system are the lowest. That's when it can happen. And unfortunately, some individuals get this.
Well, and that's what's happened to our special guest. I'm going to bring her on, and we can have her. We can basically have her story and talk a little bit about this, because this is actually something new to me, and this is what's so interesting about doing what I do and interviewing so many people, is that every story is a little different. Tamika and I talk about this. It's not. It's so I'm going to bring our guest on. We're going to do a VIP intro and bring her on, and we're going to get her. We're going to have her tell her story and hear from her.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. So give her a very warm Warriors Quest show welcome. Here is Jennifer Cervantes from the Tucson, Arizona area. All right, VIP intro. Here we go. Hi, Jennifer.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. How's everybody doing today?
All right. How you doing?
We're
Pretty
great.
good, thank you.
Doing good.
We're gonna-
Hope you are.
Good, thank you.
We're going to play musical chairs just a little bit. I'm going to move you.
Okay,
Oh,
All
that's
right,
good.
there we go. Hopefully that was painless.
it was painless.
All right, good. All right, so Jennifer, Tucson, Arizona area, right? I'm a little bit familiar with Arizona. So, I used to go to Phoenix quite a bit for business, and there's a Mexican restaurant called Mata's that I used to go in the Phoenix metro area. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, what's your favorite restaurant in Tucson?
I would have to say my home.
Okay, right on. I love it.
Good answer.
Nice, good answer.
I prefer home meals, especially since transplant. They try to tell you not to eat out so much.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always preferred. Anything else is just really bad for your stomach, at least for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you and I met in 2018, virtually, of course.
Yeah.
And my twin brother and I, Jeffrey A. Brown, we were advocating for you, and we were putting out posters and videos. And then you had the had the glorious call, and so
Yes,
it's
I did. Yeah.
yeah, I was, and I'm still grateful for that, and I'm sure
Very,
you've
very
expressed,
grateful.
yes, you've expressed your gratitude as well many
Yeah.
times, and God bless the donor, and
Mhm.
for having, for having checked marked he or she wanted to become a donor, because it gave you 3 more
Exactly.
years off dialysis,
Yeah,
and so.
for sure.
So tell us a little bit about what when it started sort of not functioning as well, and how long has it
So,
been?
so I got the transplant November 25th, 2018. Um, and by, I think it was the next year, I got sick with norovirus because I work in a hospital.
Okay.
So I got the norovirus. I picked it up somewhere in the hospital. And that gave me really bad gastrointestinal problems for about a year. I was suffering through just constant, constant diarrhea. I had endoscopies, colonoscopies. They couldn't figure out why. They changed all my immunosuppression from Salsep to Myfortic. They lowered my Tacro, and nothing seemed to be working. So it started to affect the kidney, of course, because of the dehydration, because I just couldn't keep up the fluid in my body. I had to go in constantly for like IV drips and just be in the hospital for 2 weeks at a time, just getting magnesium or potassium or just different electrolytes that my body would need. That started probably about 6-7 months after I had the transplant, and it continued for about a year. And then last year, it was the same thing throughout the whole year, just constantly getting sick. But I was off dialysis, which, as we all know, is a blessing right there.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it is.
So I took all the good I could, and no dialysis meant I could spend time with my family, go out on vacation, or
Yes.
even small ones. It was great. It was amazing.
Mhm.
And then this year, I started to suffer with very low blood pressure,
Okay.
like under 100.
Mm.
So they got me
Wow.
on like blood pressures medication 3 times a day.
Wow.
And in I think it was in October 6th, I actually was getting reevaluated for my third transplant because we were trying to be a little more proactive.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And we went to my dentist appointment, came back home. I felt, lightheaded, and I was like, okay, my blood pressure is a little low. Took my Midrodine, and then I got up. I was going to cook myself something to eat, and I felt a little bit off. I was by myself. I started to have a panic attack, went into full mode panic attack because I was by myself.
Wow.
Finally calmed down, and then from that, I went into a seizure,
Oh
which
my
I've never had
gosh.
seizures before.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that was October 6th. I went into a seizure. When I woke up a little while later, I would guess, I couldn't tell what time it was. It took me about 45 minutes to get off the floor.
Mm.
Finally texted my coordinator and told her, I think I just had a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
then she told me to go to the ER. But I didn't have my phone on loud because I had just gone to a dentist appointment, and I always mute my phone when I'm at the doctor. So I didn't see her message until later in the day, like 6 or 7 o'clock. So when I finally saw it, I just texted her back and I told her, you know what, it's kind of late. If I go to the ER right now, they will not get me in 6-7 hours.
Mm.
And, she was like, okay, well, just get in as soon as you can. If you have any other issues, go in. So I went at 5:30 in the morning because I work in a hospital. So I went in at 5:30 in the morning, went straight to the ER. They didn't really do anything other than an EKG because nobody saw me have the seizure.
Okay.
There was really nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back home. stayed home for about 6 days because my body was hurting.
Mm.
Went back to work on the 13th. And then I was there. I got there at 6:30. About 8 o'clock, went to the restroom, came back because I wasn't feeling good. I walk in the office and I passed out.
Mm.
So then they took me into the ER from the office. And as they're taking me to ER, I'm having my second seizure.
Are you kidding me?
And
Wow.
So then they take me and do a CT scan. And while they're doing the CT scan, they realize that I have 2 small masses on my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, of course, I get admitted directly into the hospital. And then I'm there for about a week because there's a debate between 2 hospitals. My hospital, which is my banner team, that's trying to get me to their hospital so they can get their hands on me because of the kidney. And TMC, which is just trying to do, their work and get their workup done. So I was holding off. They were holding off doing an MRI with contrast because of the kidney. And then they finally got a hold of my nephrologist team and they were like, well, we're going to hold off all anti-rejection meds. And they did a lumbar puncture, another CT scan, an MRI with and without contrast, and finally decided that it was PTLD in the brain with T cell or B cell markers, I believe it was. So then finally got transferred after a week and a half to Banner because, the beds are completely full right now. And then I get to Banner and have the whole workup redone again, another CT scan, another MRI, another everything, just everything got redone. And then they did a biopsy of, the brain. They come back and they tell me that it is poly PTLD, so it's pretty much
polymorphic.
Pre-cancer. Yes, polymorphic. Thank you. Polymorphic PTLD, which doesn't mean it's cancer yet, but they have to treat it like cancer so that it doesn't become cancer. So therefore, I'm now on a treatment plan for chemo, which is rituximab. And then I'll be getting another medication within the next week. I think it's called Imbrevica, which is another form of chemo kind of thing. Sorry. It's just so much information that was given within the last week.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jared.
But I'm so grateful that everything happened in the hospital and they were able to figure it out before anything else happened, honestly.
Thank
So
As are we.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no. I apologize. Wow. That's
Wow. Seizure
It's
2
been a little
times.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the tests that they did too. How did this make you feel while you're experiencing all this? Wow.
I was very angry. I was scared because the first thing they tell you is lymphoma, and of course lymphoma you think cancer and
Right.
you think all these other things.
Yeah.
So it was a very scary week. The first week was very scary because we couldn't get answers. They did all these tests, but it was like we're waiting for pathology and we're waiting for them to let us know what it is exactly, and we're waiting for the last results to come in. And, one doctor would come in and say, well, there's no infection, so that's good because, it's the brain. We don't want an infection there.
No,
and then another doctor would come in and they're like, well, we're still waiting for this result. And it was just a lot of confusion that as a patient, you get very frustrated because you're just like, can you guys just get together, talk to each other, and then come talk to me?
Exactly.
Don't trickle in and give me a little information here and there because then that just frustrates you.
Yes.
And at the end of it all, I was in the hospital for a total of almost 3 weeks, and I was I was done.
Wow.
I was just like, I just want to go. Once I'm out, we can make a plan.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared, I just wanted to piggyback from what Jennifer said. She had polymorphic PTLD, and that's where it's a mix of different types of cells.
Okay.
And there's 4 main types of PTLD. You got the early lesions, which may go away after the doctor possibly lowers the dosage of the immunosuppressor drugs.
Okay.
Then you got the polymorphic PTLD. Then you got the monomorphic PTLD, which is one type. You got mono, which means one, but
Right.
that's one type of cell and is the most common type of PTLD. And then you have your other types, which are rare, such as Hodgkin's disease.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have the polymorphic PTLD, and we're hoping that with the Rituxan and the Embrevica, it'll get it out of the way. I know I had another MRI done on the 18th, and it showed a new lesion on my brain. So we're hoping that once the medication starts to kick in, they'll stop.
Okay.
And plus, I'm also positive for the Epstein-Barr, which also causes the PTLD. So I had a couple things going for me there. PTLD, Epstein-Barr, and then the Tacro causes all this. So
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of mixture.
Well,
Yeah,
But we're getting
you definitely do not look like what you're going through.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Right.
I'm so glad.
You are beautiful. I'm trying not to cry.
Thank you.
I feel horrible because I'm complaining about things and you are going through multi-layers of things.
Layers,
So,
right.
if no one has told you today, you are amazing. You
Absolutely.
are an amazing
Thank you.
miracle.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
sharing this because I've never heard of this ever. So I'm learning.
I had only heard of PTLD once or twice, but I've never met anybody that had it. So when Jared said the opportunity came up, and even though I can't search for a living donor right now, well, I can, but I can't really test anybody until 2 years from now.
Right.
I was like, well, at least inform people that this is also a possibility, because the only symptoms I had, and I contributed them to me having the norovirus, was I lost like 100 pounds in a year, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
And then I had, they mentioned the night sweats. I had a night sweats galore.
Oh, wow.
I just thought, well, it's my age. I'm 39 years old. So, and then there's different little symptoms that I mentioned to the doctor that now they make sense. Yeah, now they make sense. But it's just, if I knew these things, then I would have seen them coming.
Right.
But it's good to know.
My question to you, Steve, is with what she's going through, is this because of the transplant, or was this something underlined, or does it matter if it was a cadaver kidney or from a living donor? I mean, what sparked this for her?
Well, I'm not a doctor, but listening to her story and looking at the literature, Jennifer mentioned that she was positive for the Epstein-Barr virus. And that many cases are associated with that particular virus. And that's the member of the herpes family, virus family. So she could have probably already had that, like in that film Jared showed. It says many people have that, and then but it just lays dormant. And then it could have came
from the transplanted
kidney. We don't know. And then on top of that, with the anti-rejection drugs added into that, and happen to be lowered, it's just a mixture of a lot of things that, to me, in my opinion, seems that can cause this growth. And the thing about it, the seriousness varies from an overgrowth of the lymphocytes that is not harmful to full-blown lymph node cancer called lymphoma. So it just seems like Jennifer may, in my opinion, be in the middle, somewhere down at the lower end. They caught it, not sure how long she had the lesion, before they detected it. She could have had that lesion for a while, as she mentioned her symptoms,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
didn't know where that was probably contributing from. And then, as in that little film we watched, you know, some of your lymph nodes could have been swollen, like in your neck or anywhere throughout your body, and maybe you didn't realize it or thought it could have been something else, contributed to something else. It could have been, you know, a lot of these symptoms that we get always mask the real symptom because other diseases had mimicked these same symptoms. And so it's not till you, like you say, you went and got a CAT scan done and that, you know, kind of solved your problem to what's going on where it detected that lesion on the brain.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just wow. That's all I can say. I mean,
I
And so
know.
normally, like you said, it takes about 2 years because they want to make sure if it is a cancer that you're cancer free, you're going through the treatment.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely keep you in prayer because I know with some of these
Thank you.
chemotherapies, you know, you may have some adverse symptoms of hair loss and other nausea, vomiting. You know, everybody's different on how they handle these chemo treatments. So I wouldn't say you're going to experience it or whatever the case, because everybody has their own reaction and experience with different therapies.
yeah, and I
Correct.
can
Correct.
validate that. I did chemotherapy for 18 months for the lupus.
Oh, wow.
And I already lost my hair because of lupus, so that was fine with me. But it threw me into early menopause, you know, so it was crazy, you know, night sweats and
Yeah.
things like that. So I pray for you too. I'm gonna definitely keep you in prayer, but
Thank
you are
you.
strong
Strong
woman.
warrior. Wow.
Yes,
It's
you are
Yes, we
incredible.
are.
strong.
We are.
And Jared, if I may say, if anybody's
Please.
watching this show tonight that recently had a transplant, I advise them to see, you know, I'm sure the hospital would detect them if they have the Epstein-Barr virus, but I would be asking questions about PTLD. What's their risk for that? I mean, even though I know it says that it's low and it's normally early or in the elderly, I was still just hearing it because I never heard of it until you told me and reached out to me. And Jared, and so and I work in dialysis, so
Right. Not
I'm
not
sure a
and
lot of
you've
other
been
people.
right. You've got like 36 years experience. So
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
So this
sure
is
other people should know about this to see
absolutely.
if they at risk for it. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in my opinion, maybe
Exactly.
it should be some type of, and I'm sure they do these scans when they do workup for the transplant, you know, pre and post. I don't know, but I'm sure there's have to be something in place because they know that this exists. The PTLD is just, do you check for it to see, you know, do scans just to make sure, or do you wait till a person come and say they had these symptoms like Jennifer? I mean, because if they may would have did a scan or something post transplant, I don't know. I'm just
Those
saying,
are valid questions.
just a
That is.
preventative. You know, just for the
Yes.
preventative, they know that this happens in the early months after
Yes.
transplant when the dosages of the drugs are higher. Maybe they should do a scan just to see, you know, if any type of, you know, check for the Epstein-Barr virus and also just do a full body scan of to check for any lymphoma or any type of lesions on the brain.
So when I get transplanted, this is what I should ask them to do. That is that what you're saying? If they don't suggest it. or should I talk about it now? Because I'm not.
I mean, I would just hold that discussion with if you on the list, I would hold that discussion with your transplant coordinator.
Okay.
And if you're not getting any answers like what you want to hear, your questions are not being answered, I would maybe set an appointment with the surgeon.
Yeah.
With the surgeon and ask him. But I would definitely just see if you're at risk, or are you at risk, or what's the chances of this happening? Again, you don't hear much about this. We always hear about the good stories, like Shane Blanchard and the other young lady. But in this case with Jennifer, she had a hiccup, and I think I heard this once before, Jared, but they didn't say any name. I just heard someone say they had to wait for the transplant because they had a lesion on the brain. Now that I'm thinking back throughout my career, but I didn't question it. I didn't question the reason why. They just said they had a lesion on the brain, and it didn't think to ask, what was it called, anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And so, Jennifer, I would like to ask if they told you that since you're going to be on hold for possibly 2 years, when you get back on the list, do you start where you left off? How does that work?
That's a good question.
I have not talked to them about that. I know I will be starting dialysis here pretty soon because I'm like a little balloon already. I'm filling up.
Oh, I can see that edema in your hand.
So I know I talked. I talked to my doctor today, and he's like, okay, I put the call out to the clinic. I do want to be trained for home hemo because I'm more of a hands-on kind of patient. So I know it's going to take at least a month for training, they told me. So once that's over and I'm home, I know they usually backtrack to your first day of dialysis, but I don't know if they're going to backtrack to the first day I start this time or the first day we started the reevaluation for a new transplant, which was about 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
I'll see what they tell me.
Yeah.
I would think it's going to be.
So I'll see what they tell me.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Me too.
I hope they make it equitable and fair for you because, to be put on a lower level would be, it would be a shame, really.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Jared.
Yeah.
Jared.
So there's a question
I'm
here
just hoping to
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh, I'm just saying I'm hoping to get like a living donor because I know from a warm body to a warm body they last longer and there's better probabilities.
That is the case.
So that's what I'm praying for. I'm hoping for. I'm gonna work myself to get healthy in this 2 years and be ready for a new kidney. And hopefully it'll come sooner rather than later. Because this last one I waited 8 years for, and that was a long wait.
I remember that. Wow. You waited a long time, right?
Yeah.
Now, the kidney you got that you waited 8 years for, that was not from a living donor then?
A deceased donor angel, yes.
No, that was a cadaveric donor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Jared. No, I'm sorry. No, that's okay. I just wanted to ask a quick question for Shane because he's in the hospital. He said he was constipated. And the reason for that, Shane, because when they put you under anesthesia, peristalsis or your stomach muscles have stopped moving to help move your bowels through your GI tract. So one, ask them for Miralax, which is good for constipation. And then two, you need to get up and walk around so you can promote peristalsis.
Jennifer knows that.
Movement.
Yeah, you got to move. You got to get up and move around so you can kind of get that peristalsis, which is the movement of the stomach. When you hear the gurgling and all that,
Uh-huh.
That's what that is.
The
So
BGs, BGs.
Yeah,
We
we gotta
got
move around.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Andy or
movement,
Barry Gibb
water, and
either.
Dialysis.
I'm sorry.
Excellent. Yep.
I was just saying the BGs, and I'm not talking about Andy or Barry Gibb.
All right. Okay.
So there was a question before Shane's comment I wanted to go back to. She asked another question before too. I didn't get to it, so I wanted to answer. Thanks for your comments, Joe Ellen. She's asking here, when did you have to go back on dialysis? So you haven't quite yet, Jennifer, if I understand right.
Not yet.
And
Not yet,
and-
but I will have to. How does it affect the kidney? The kidney will still stay in there. Thankfully, I'm still making urine.
Good.
So which is good
Good,
because
good.
still removing some of the toxins.
Yep.
But they will leave it in there. They have stopped all immunosuppression about a month ago after we found out that it was PTLD.
Okay.
They stopped it completely. The only thing I'm left on is 10 milligrams of prednisone right now. That's it. Everything else is to treat the seizures or the PTLD.
Okay. All right.
For the kidney, everything else has been stopped. But yeah, dialysis is definitely coming soon because I'm about to float away here.
You're retaining, huh?
Jennifer, if I may ask, have you thought about the modality that you're going to do? Are you going to do in-center? Have you decided to come home?
I think she said home hemo.
Yeah, she said home hemo.
I would love to. I would love to see if I can do home hemo. I am a little scared of it because of the whole poking myself thing.
Yeah.
But I've gone through heck and back, and I'm sure I can do it. I just need to talk myself into it.
That's to say it lightly, yes.
So what kind of dialysis
so
did you do prior to this? Did you do in-center or did you
So
do
I've done peritoneal dialysis at home. I did that for about 5 years before my first transplant.
Okay.
When my first transplant failed, I went back onto peritoneal dialysis for another 6 years until finally there was just too much scarring in my diaphragm area, my abdomen area, sorry. And then I went to hemo in-center, but it causes me so much anxiety. Just going in there puts me in a panic attack.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can do it for another 2 years in there. Just being home and being like, take care of my own self, have a little bit of control on everything that I don't have control over helps put me at ease.
I'm doing peritoneal dialysis at home. That's why I asked. I've been on dialysis now over a year, but I panicked at first when they advised me to do it at home because I went on dialysis dead smack in the middle of the pandemic, and my doctor advised me to do it at home. So I
really okay.
Yeah, he didn't, because I have lupus too. Lupus is why I have the kidney issues, but he just didn't want me in that environment.
Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm doing now. So
where do you live? Where do you live?
Yeah,
Charlotte,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
You. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, that's awesome. You got sound like you got a great kidney doctor, because listen, a lot of kidney doctors wouldn't suggest that. They would want you to go in the clinic because they come in and make rounds once a week or every so often. They get paid a lot more opposed to you coming into his office once a month to get your blood work done. A lot of people are fast tracked into the in-center because it brings that in-center revenue, and then that doctor comes and see you, and he's able to see you more and charge you each time he comes to see you. He's able to charge for that visit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
that's another reason why I don't like in-center. I do not like doctors coming up to me, talking to me when there's 20 other patients around you. I'm sorry, I need my privacy when you're going to talk about me. And when I was in center, when I was in center, I was like, no, I do not have time to talk to you. And they're like, just 5 minutes. I said, no. If I need to see you, I will come to your office. I will not talk to you here.
I'm like, nope. Jared, that's that's a big issue with a lot of people on dialysis, Jared, because in some clinics, depending on the state, okay, well, no, I take that back. It's not depending on the state because it's Medicare rules, but there's so many space feet apart that the machines have to be, that patients have to be from each other. And in some cases, you have patients where you had a machine on the left side of them, and then on the right side of them, it may be another patient sitting there, maybe about 2 to 3 feet, you know,
not very far away,
not very far, and then the machine is on their side, so they're able to talk to that person, you know, develop a relationship or whatever if they sit in the chairs, you know, if that's their regular seating arrangement.
Right.
And so, as Jennifer said, if the doctor comes, you know, depending on the doctor, if they talking loud, you know, some patients, you know, you may think they sleep, but they listening what's going on.
Right.
In the clinic, but you may think they sleep because they got the earphones on, but they may turn the TV down and listen to the other person's conversation. I mean, this happens for real. And and so when you got that, you got an issue with privacy. And I don't blame Jennifer for not wanting to talk to the physician right then and there. You know, she could have been asleep. You know, she could have been asleep. He come by, wake her up, and you know, start talking. And you know, if nothing's going on, nothing's going on. And if something's going on, I'll call you. You know, unless it's an emergency. But you know, I agree with you, Jennifer, about talking with the physician outside of the facility, like in their office.
It makes sense, right?
Away from. And Jared, this is the same thing as I've been preaching when it comes to starting in-center dialysis. You know, back in the day when patients used to start, we take them into a room in the back and quiet room and go over the paperwork. Nowadays, they do this right at the secretary's desk, maybe in the clinic. And
it's personal information.
Well, not only that, Jared, but imagine coming to dialysis your first day. You don't know anything about outpatient, and you come in there when it's changeover. You're seeing patients leaving, going, staff running, bells and whistles going off. There's a lot of noise. It can be a frightful situation when you come in and you're signing papers that say this can go wrong, that can go wrong. And
very true.
There's the exit.
And Jared, that's again the reason why I wrote that book.
Right.
To kind
of
of
some insight and give them less anxiety.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The less anxiety. I can't totally get rid of all anxiety because it's going to be some there because of the unknown. But I just want to alleviate whatever I can. So once you walk through those doors, you be prepared. You know you're going to sign a bunch of papers. You know you're going to be getting your weight. You know you got to do this, do that. So you almost be ready for it.
Yeah. You're right. Because I accidentally, my first day, you know, going to the renal center, I went to the wrong side. I went to the center side.
You didn't know any better.
And I was supposed to be on the home side, and you know, everyone was looking sick, and I was just like, "Is this gonna be my life?" You know, and I really low key panicked. I started to run, but I was like, you know, get yourself together and go next door. You know, it was quiet, it was private. You know, they walked me through everything. I have the best renal nurse. Next to you, Steve. I know you're the best too.
Thank you. There's a lot of them out there that are great, but thank you.
I have the best renal nurse ever, and they just walk me through everything.
Jared, you got to do that. You got to walk people through something that's very new to them, and you got to do it slow. You cannot rush this type of information. And Jared, the thing about it, you may see some of my shows that I may do or education that's repeated. You know, you may have seen it last year or 3 months ago, where that's how it is in dialysis. It's like
Dialysis.
every quarter or every 3 months we do education because you don't want to forget anything. Like for instance, in center we do education when it comes to emergency takeoff, because what if you're in the clinic somewhere and it's a tornado or comes, or hurricane or whatever happens, and the machines cut off, the power cut off. You want to know how to disconnect yourself in an emergency situation. And the thing about it, not everyone is going to be able to do it, because you got older patients, or you got people that got neuropathy in their hands or something, and they can't control that clamp, to clamp it, or clamp the needle lines right here, clamp it like that, because it may be too hard for them. So it's a lot to know, but it's necessary. And that's why I do those shows, because
they're necessary. Your shows are necessary.
Because Jared, again, staff shortage. You remember I mentioned that, Jared, about a year or two ago, that it was coming. Staff shortages are happening now. And one defeater, a friend of mine, I can't remember which one. Oh, it's a guy named Justin Lamatha.
Oh, right, the guy from Hawaii.
Yeah. His clinic that he's going to gave him, and not just him, but the clinic, 2-week notice, a letter, Jared, saying
a letter.
Look, saying that the clinic is about to shut down.
That's terrible.
And they have to find.
That's horrible.
They have to find other places. They have to find other places to go, because they got to consolidate because of the staffing issues and whatever is going on. So they got to close one clinic, disperse the patients out, and it's like interrupting the treatment. It's crazy, man.
That's so sad.
So Jennifer, my question.
Another reason why I want to try to do chemo.
Yes, right. I was just going to say that's another reason that you most likely are making that decision. But so the 2 years thing, is that solid? Or if they're able to test you and less than 2 years, they're showing no signs of it anymore, can you get off that 2-year sort of, I don't know what they call it, is it a solitude? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like early parole.
Right.
I think it's a solid 2 years. I think it's 2 years here in Tucson, and I think it's because it hasn't been defined as cancer, because I know other places it's 5 years. So I will definitely take the 2 years.
Right, instead of 5. Yeah.
And
exactly,
I can validate what she says. That is the protocol, because they found a small mass on my kidney, and they thought it was cancer. So
okay.
Before I got the MRI, they said, look, if it is cancer, you have to wait 2 years, period.
Yeah.
Even if we get the cancer and the cancer is gone. So she is absolutely right. That's the protocol here in North Carolina.
All right.
And Jen, I've heard that before. Now that I think about it, with maybe some of the guests we had in the past that may have had kidney cancer, and they had to get that kidney removed, and then wait, wait a period of time before getting on the transplant list.
As an example, Jesus Mendoza had to wait 2 years as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is exactly what they told me. They said we will remove the kidney, and then you wait 2 years, period. So.
Yeah. But it's okay. I don't mind waiting 2 years. It'll give me a chance to get healthy again and strong for that new kidney. So I'm good with it.
Well, God's will is God's will. And if that is God's will, then what I'm hoping is that you that he has some mercy for you after the 2 years, so that you're not waiting
Yeah,
longer than 2
Amen.
years. And that's,
Amen.
that's my
exactly.
obvious, that's my prayer and what I'll be praying
Yes.
for in regards to
Yes.
how this plan, pans out
Thank
for
you.
you, Jennifer. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
So
Absolutely.
Me
we're
too,
we're
man.
coming
Me too.
we're
I'm
coming to the
praying
end
here
a
every
little
day.
bit here, but I wanted to ask you, Jennifer, during this time that you're getting the news, and and you may go back to dialysis, how supportive and what kind of encouragement are you getting from your family? Because from what I remember, you've got a great family basis, that your family,
Mhm.
that you're very close with them, right?
Yes, yes. So actually, my right now that you mention it, my little brother just turned. He's gonna be 20 in March, and he was the first one to call as soon as they were getting me worked up. But unfortunately, Banner has recently changed their donor rules to nobody can donate unless they're like over 25, I believe. So he's barely 19 this year. He's gonna be 20 next year. So they just
Oh,
told him to hold
wow.
off a little bit. So he's very anxious for those 2 years to come, and hopefully Banner will
Okay.
change their rules again, because they said they change them every now and then to get more donors in. Um,
Wow.
so he's anxious to do it, because he's seen me his whole life. I've been sick.
Right.
I was 17 when I got sick, and he was born right after I was 17. I was 18 when he was born. So
Oh,
he's very
wow.
anxious to see me healthy and not having to deal with any of this. And
Yeah.
everybody else everybody has been great. My mom has been with me throughout the whole thing.
Awesome.
Of course, in the hospital, they only let one person there with you. So
Yeah.
I had to have my mama there with me.
Of
So she
Amen.
was there with me the whole time. Everybody's been reaching out. Thankfully, this
Good.
year we were able to get together for Thanksgiving. Everybody was vaccinated. Everybody
Good.
was healthy enough to make it.
Praise God for
So
that.
it's been, after all, it's been a good end of the year so far. Everybody got to see everybody. And I mean, I'm thankful for just the little things, grateful for the 3 years, thankful that we got these lesions in early on stages, I would say. Thankful I'm not on dialysis yet, even though I
Amen.
really should be. Thankful I still urinate. Thankful I can still drink, plenty of water, because I'm always thirsty.
Come on,
So
girl.
I'm
You
just
better preach.
every day find that little thing that I
Yep.
have to be thankful for that day, just to get me through the day.
Yes.
But it is what it is. He has a plan for us, and I'm just here for the
Amen.
ride. I'm waiting for the purpose, and I'm riding along.
Well,
Amen, Jennifer.
Oh, let me
that's
ask you
Yeah,
a quick question, Jennifer.
mhm.
Have you gotten your access yet
I do. I have my fistula
from
on my right
before?
arm from before.
Okay.
I do have. We're gonna do a fistulogram next week, just to make sure it's all clear and ready to go for whenever I need it.
Okay.
But it's still thriving. It's still pulsating. Thankfully, I
Really?
didn't
You
take
can
it out.
still feel it?
They wanted to take it out. Yeah, they wanted me to take it out, but I was like, no, transplants aren't forever, so let's just leave it in.
Good, good.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still going,
That
still
was
pumping.
smart.
hmm
That was smart. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Well,
we only have so many veins, and my left arm is gone. So
Oh.
well,
Okay.
let's, again, tender mercies, and I'm hoping that God shows you
Amen.
some mercy, that your
He will.
fistula continues to work, very well, and that you won't have to have any sort of additional problems that way, because you've been through
yes,
so much, and I admire your toughness and your strength.
Yes.
thank
Very
you,
inspired by your story. Very inspired.
Me too,
thank you.
girl.
I'm
You're my
hoping this was
shero.
informational for everybody.
It
Thank you
was.
so much.
It was enlightening, informative. I mean, I've learned so much tonight. I mean, so many questions I have.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh.
All right. So before we go, it's shout out time, Jennifer. So please shout out. Okay. Give us a, shout out whom you want to shout out. And now it's your time. I'm going to put us down below and you can shout out. Okay.
Okay. If my phone dies, I'm sorry. I'm running down on like 4% right now. But I just want to shout out to all of you guys for everything you do. I don't watch all the shows, but I do occasionally log in and watch some of them. Steve, you're informative. You're kind of my guide to going through home hemo. I watch all those little TikToks that you keep putting on.
Nice.
I love those. They're very informative.
Oh, that's you?
Warrior Princess. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Warrior Princess is the first time that I've seen you. But you
Thank
have
you.
this glow about you.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, Jared. As always, thank you very much for everything that you do. You are a blessing to
Yes.
everybody here.
Yes, you are, Jared.
And I really hope that a lot of us get our living donors or just any type of donor, honestly. And I'm sure the ones that just got it are super excited just
I know.
for them. For
What a
Shane, I
gift.
think it was his name. Don't
Mhm.
forget to walk,
Yep.
hydrate, and Miralax. Those
Yep.
things will get you out of the hospital faster than anything.
All right.
Absolutely.
Other than that, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Love
You're
you guys.
welcome.
Thank
Love
you.
you
Love you,
too.
Jennifer.
Take care, Jennifer.
Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So we're coming to the end here, and so I just want to I want to have you guys give a real quick shout out, and then we're gonna call it a night. Wow, so inspiring, right?
Oh, amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
She was amazing. She's a true
All right,
warrior.
so we've had some people watching that you've invited, Tamika. Whom would you like to shout out tonight?
I'm just going to shout out all my sorority sisters of Delta Sigma Theta that are on right now. I'm not even going to call any names because I don't want to miss
All
a
right.
name.
Yeah.
So DST in full effect. And I want to
All
give
right.
a special shout out to my great aunt Sherry, who turns 80 years old today. So today is her birthday. So shout out to
All
my
right.
great aunt Sherry.
Yeah, she's the one that you posted. Please
Yep.
stop what you're doing and wish her a
Yep.
happy birthday. Okay.
Stop what you're doing or wish her happy
Nice.
birthday.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right, Steve, I'm going to give you a moment too. Whom would you like to shout out? Who are you thankful
Yeah,
for? We just had Thanksgiving.
Tamika said, it's a lot. I don't want to miss nobody. So everyone who's who watching this
Yep.
show and to support Steve the Kidney Nurse or Urban Health
Yes.
Outreach Media, Urban Kidney Alliance, or the Warriors Quest show. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for watching. These types of programs are needed because
Yes.
again, a lot of this information is not talked about, especially if you're on dialysis and you go to in-center. And with staff shortages and the way the process goes, it's hardly ever any time to really sit down and educate like you will want to do, just because of the nature of the job. So please keep coming back here to the Warriors Quest show, or Urban Health Outreach Media, or Steve the Kidney Nurse to get real-time dialysis information and education so you can be armed and know what you need to do if you find yourself in any position that requires you to make certain decisions pertaining to your life. So that's all, Jared.
Amen to that. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thanks again, Tamika, for joining us. Always a pleasure. Thanks,
you.
Steve, for co-hosting as
here.
well. You guys God bless. Peace.
All right.
God bless.
Thanks, Jared.
Peace.
Please go to my YouTube page.
Will do. All right. Good night.
Good night. All right, so please go to his YouTube page, Steve the Kidney Nurse, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got a really good TikTok following as well. He puts out really good TikTok videos, educational. And that's a really good TikTok because they're easy to watch. It's 15 seconds long. He puts out really good educational short TikTok videos, and his YouTube channel is really good. So please give him a subscription. Just it's free. All right. Sometimes people get scared when you hear the word subscription, but there's not a fee. Just go to the channel, subscribe. It's free. All right, you guys. So thankful for everybody that's watched. Tamika, Lisa, Yvette. Any comments from Yvette? Thankful for all of Tamika's friends, family that watched. Amani James, I think that's her auntie that has a birthday. I might be wrong. And I want to, Lisa, back so much my respect. Thank you, Lisa, for representing and commenting, of course, and giving encouragement for all these for both kidney warriors today, Tamika and Jennifer. But and so other people that I like, Shane and Courtney, again, they both had a transplant recently. So please give them your, give them your support and encouragement as well, please. I know I may be for other names, and if I have, another one that does great with comments. All right, I'm gonna make sure I verbally say this because I don't want to forget her. Is oh my gosh, Ellen. I want to make sure I say her name right. All right, if I can get this for some reason. All right, so here we go. I'm forgetting her name. I'm trying to find her comment. Oh my gosh, Ellen. I hate it when I forget the names. I'm only 50. All right, here we go. I'm trying to love to find it. Having a little bit of a brain freeze here. I know it's Ellen. She's commented so many times. Joe Ellen. There we go. Joe Ellen. I know it was Ellen something. Joe Ellen. There we go. Joe Ellen McFall Knight. Thank you. All right. I apologize that I couldn't remember your name. I know your name and you comment regularly, and I really appreciate it, which is why it's so hard to find your name. Wanted to publicly thank her for her comments, for her support. And again, God bless you all, for everybody for supporting the Warriors Quest Show and Urban Health Media. Again, just as a quick reminder, on both my Facebook and my Instagram, I've started a fundraiser for the Urban Kidney Alliance. So please be a pal and donate. Okay, it's for a good cause. It helps us do what we do. Okay, and we want to reach as many people as possible so we can continue good content and help people. Anyway, God bless. I appreciate and love you all. Bye bye. Where's that somewhere? Where is this? Oh, here we go.